What is the best fuel for you to reach your goals, and how important is motivation? Some people say consistency is the most important thing. Some people say it's drive and sheer willpower. For the last couple of years, I've actually heard a lot of people online saying motivation isn't that important. Motivation fluctuates and changes day to day, so it's unreliable. I think I've actually seen more people than ever falling short of their goals with this type of thinking than ever before. Here's the truth. Motivation doesn't fluctuate. A motive is constant. Our feelings, inspiration, and excitement can change day to day, but not our motivation. Motivation is simply the reason why we choose to take action. It's possible over time that you may add new reasons, or some old reasons may cease to be important enough to you, but that's simply the addition or subtraction of a motive, not the fluctuation of one. When talking about what's needed to achieve a goal, consistency is absolutely important. Drive is important. Will is absolutely important. But the question is, how do we become consistent? How do we stay driven? How do I consistently exercise my willpower? The answer is motivation. What's your motive for building that consistency? What's the motive for driving and willing yourself through difficulties? Motivation is the fuel needed to achieve your greatest desires. I'm actually going to talk about and share with you the best way to uncover your deepest, most powerful motivating factors in order to hit your goals. But before I do that, I want to share one of the biggest mistakes I made when struggling to hit my goals. One of the biggest mistakes I would make is confusing the outcome of a goal as my motivation. For example, when I graduated from college, my first goal was to pay off all my credit cards. I was in a tremendous amount of credit card debt. But what was my motivation? I wanted just to simply pay them off so I didn't have to pay them. When I first got into fitness, my goal was to lose weight. What was my motivation for that? My motivation was to lose weight so I could look good. Now, these are very surface level motives that didn't really push me as far as I hoped. I would see some success, but I would fall back into my old habits. I knew I wanted to keep more of my money for some reason, but there was nothing more I was focused on that was keeping me dialed in other than not wanting to pay my creditors. I knew I wanted to be fit and lose weight, but I didn't have a deep reason I was focused on. I didn't struggle to attract women, which is probably one of the most important things for me back when I was in my 20s. So that wasn't something that was really a great motivator for me. Those motives didn't last me long. They were short-sighted and relatively weak. Years later, I found myself back in financial trouble with debt, with car loans and personal debt as well. I was overweight and complacent with my health and my weight and my body. And once I discovered a deeper, more important reason for me to make the necessary changes in my life, it actually became a lot easier to not only achieve my goals, but sustain them long term. So there are some really strong, amazing tools and questions that I asked myself to help me uncover my strong, victorious motivators that I needed to continue to push myself to achieve my larger goals. And these motivators are still pushing me to this day and keeping me from falling back into my old ways and habits. And I'll share those with you here in just a sec. I've actually found that many people do exactly what I did. They focus on the outcome of reaching their goal and make that their motive. They envision their goals, they talk about achieving it, and they get excited. And what they say is, man, I feel motivated. Well, this is a huge mistake. What they are referring to is the excitement, the anticipation of achieving their goal. Wanting the outcome of a particular action is a source of motivation, but I would argue it's one of the weakest forms, especially for large goals. It's hard to stay motivated or excited about something when you don't see the progress. That's why SMART goals are so great and so important. It helps us with seeing the progress while we're on the journey. If you don't know what SMART goals are or you need a refresher, check out this video after this one. Your motivation for doing something should be something that you intentionally take time to think about. It should be something that serves a deeper need or desire than just the outcome itself. Your motivation should be something so meaningful, so impactful, you can celebrate the progress you're making within your daily small actions. My favorite tool for uncovering the strongest motivating factors we have is called the 7 levels of why. This was actually an adopted tool from Toyota's problem-solving approach called the 5 whys, and now we use it to uncover our strong motivating factors. Now, the 7 levels of why is an approach where we continue to ask ourselves why something is important to us up to 7 times. Now, it can actually be less than 7 times or more than 7 times. But the point is to continue to ask yourself why until you uncover that strong motivation you need. Let's say, for example, I want to start a business and make $1 million in the next 2 years. Now, why could that be important to me? Because I want to be debt free. Why is that important to me? Because then I'll have the extra money I need to secure a good future for my children and support my parents. Well, why is that important to me? Because my parents did everything they could to provide a good life for me and my siblings, and I want to be a man of honor that can do that for them in their older years. Well, why might that be important to me? Because I want to be a man that I and my family can be proud of and live with no regrets, and so on and so on. You get the point, right? If you struggle with the 7 levels of why, I found that using some additional thought-provoking questions really helps get the wheels turning. Questions like, what will you be able to do when you achieve your goal that you can't do right now? Is not achieving your goal acceptable? Why or why not? What pain could be caused by you not achieving your goal? What pleasure will you be able to experience when you achieve your goal? Who else can benefit from you achieving your goal? Who's depending on you to achieve your goal? What could it do for them to see you become victorious? How will obtaining the goal help you become a better person? And who else can that affect? How can you achieving your goal make the world a better place? These kind of questions may help get the wheels turning if you're finding it difficult to really dig into the deeper levels of why you want the things you want. Over time, I found a common element to most people's strong motivating factors and what helped them most. I found that it seems if people dig deep enough, they'll find a motivation that's attached to some form of love, service, or obligation that really seems to sustain them. These type of motivating factors will not only push you through the most difficult moments, but it will give you a sense of purpose and fulfillment while you're on the journey to becoming the individual that gets to achieve their goal. Who you get to become is one of the best and most motivating parts of achieving any goal. I'll share more insight on that in another video, and I'll link that to the end of this one. But first, I challenge you to take action right now. Go grab a piece of paper and a pen and start digging. Uncover the strong motives that you have for achieving your goal. If you're not clear on what your goals are, make sure to first check out the SMARTS video I mentioned earlier in this one. Once you've done all of that, do me a favor, come back to this video and let me know what you've discovered. I'm really interested in hearing and learning from your experiences. Now, go take advantage of all the opportunities life gives you to grow and have a victorious day.